Welcome back to the 1009 podcast, coming to you post-conference championship weekend. The Super Bowl is set. We got new coaches going to new places, draft picks being traded for coaches, which is absurd. We got Clemson's football schedule, ACC football schedule got released last night. So a pretty somewhat packed episode, I guess you'd say, for dying down the football season. But got me, Jacob, and Grayson. Seth is, as he likes to say, out of pocket. So haven't heard from him in like 3 weeks. So yeah, Super Bowl is set. One good game, one sleeper. Shout out to Philly and San Francisco, and Brock Purdy for carrying his UCL to make that game boring. Super Bowl set for the Eagles versus the Chiefs after a suspect game by the refs for that. But other than that, some good football per usual.
Yes. How much would you trade? I don't know what I was going to say. Something about Jackson Mahomes. I don't know. Unfortunately, we got a Josh Johnson game. Have you guys heard? You guys have had somebody either see the tweet or read to you on another form of media about all the teams Josh Johnson has played on?
17.
It's like 12. Yeah.
It's like 14 NFL teams and like some other leagues. So I don't think that was necessarily the game plan for the 49ers going into the game or going into the playoffs or the season.
No third QB either, which is important to point out because there used to be like a designated guy that could be there.
Is there not anymore?
No, like that was a casualty of the last CBA, I believe.
They're also down to their fourth quarterback. Like every quarterback they've had this year got hurt, except for McCaffrey.
He wasn't even the designated reserve quarterback though. He was
the emergency guy.
It was Juszczyk officially.
Oh, I thought they were switching helmets with McCaffrey to give him Mike.
They should have had Debo.
No, what's that receiver from Tennessee that they have?
Jawan Jennings.
Yeah, he apparently played. He was like a 4-star high school quarterback. So,
really,
sidetrack? What sport? You know how college or hockey has the emergency goalie?
Yes. Yeah.
What sport do you think would have like another option for that, or like which one would you?
Hang on, before we get into that, Jawan Jennings was the number 5 overall dual quarterback coming out of high school. So I don't know why he isn't.
Kind of like to carry on Joyner.
Or Kendall Hinton, who actually played for Denver in a game a couple years ago.
Yes. Bailey, what was your question? Go ahead again.
So hockey has like emergency goalies if they lose both their goalies. What sport and like what position in that sport would have like would be a fun option? Like say there's like a backup catcher in baseball or something like that.
I think like backup pitcher would be pretty funny. Like, you know, like the 17th, 18th inning, like shit. Like I don't want to roll our second baseman, you know. But the problem is like pitching is one of those things where like the elite are the elite, but then a lot of people could be average. You know what I mean? Like in theory, if you throw 91, like you could get out 3 big leaguers in a row just because you're a godsend if you hit it 3 out of 10 times. So I don't think that would be as fun. You know, I think that could just be. It would be funny though, like you know, Joey up in the stands in the Bronx, like has drank 6 beers, like 8 and 4 hot dogs, and they're like, "Yo, Joey!" He's just like stumbling all over the field.
I was thinking like soccer could have like obviously a goalie.
No, I think there's an obvious answer here. And
kicker.
It's the kicker.
Yeah, that was my next thing that I was thinking.
Yeah, it's the kicker because there's only like 5 guys in the NFL where you're like, this guy's a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
Imagine taking a guy out of the stands.
Mr.
Dallas would have if they could have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been electric too.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, it's like, well, now we got John. John works at Merrill Lynch.
And we know the one owner to do that would be Jerry Jones too. He would get that guy out of there.
Put his like the tweets about the kicker on the screen as he lines up to shank a 32-yarder in front of 10 million people. That would be electric.
Just let him wear like 00. Get him out there. He'll be fine.
Just put a penny on. I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't know what other sport would be fun.
Wouldn't work at all in basketball. Like
no, that skill gap is too massive. There's no way.
Yeah, but it'd be pretty funny though.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine like Kevin
position
Durant,
players
like,
in baseball
guarding
used to be a lot more special. Now it's just blatantly abused to the point where it's done on purpose, not emergency based. But
I
I don't
think
even know.
basketball
I
is like
think
too much of a team sport to also like throw a random guy out there completely.
also like you throw a random guy in an NBA, you're getting you get awfully close to the WNBA. You know what I mean? And as we've seen, no one watches that.
All right. All the updates about contract signings and trades of that the WNBA is happening, like, cool. I know they're trying to push it to gain traction and all, but they get more backlash than they do, like, praise.
I mean, I
for
think
it.
them finally marketing it is a step, and it's
They're
sad
about
that it took
15
that long.
years too late.
Yeah.
Well, we got slightly off track of the conference championship games, but like we were saying, the game did get boring because Brock Purdy going out. Obviously, Eagles dominated that game. I mean, nothing else really to say about it.
I
Purdy
can't
getting
say I'm
hurt.
surprised, even with healthy Purdy. I think that it was up to that defense to honestly score points to keep them in that game. So I hate that he got hurt on the first drive. To give him credit, he came back and played with a torn UCL, although they had him throw literally, I think, 0 times.
Yeah.
That second half, they had like 2 pass attempts, I think, which, I mean, that's a
And
product of
McCaffrey.
QB3 getting hurt, QB4 getting hurt, and not being able to return. At that point, they had no more traditional quarterbacks. So yeah, it was just tough, as good as that rushing offense has been.
And they all gave up. No one wanted to be there. Trent Williams did not want to be there. We saw that.
Yeah,
clearly.
I don't think he'll miss time next year, but it may be on the table. Man, you just can't do that.
Is Kayvon going to miss the Super Bowl?
I don't think they've said.
No, I don't think that's. I mean, I get that he probably instigated it and said some things. This is kind of what we talked about, but he's a DB. That's a 350-pound offensive lineman that basically chokeslammed him. And I think that
he didn't even punch the right guy either.
Right. It was just. I don't think, like you mentioned, I don't think Williams wanted to be there. And that's the quickest way to not be there, is to do that right in front of an official.
There's rumors going around that Trent Williams is going to retire anyways. So
I could, I could.
He's 34. He's in the hall. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Right now, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think that's on the table. It'd be nice to see him back with the Niners, but
you know who I hate? Just popped up on this page. Geno Smith.
Is it the stuff he did at West Virginia, or
he's just a bad dude and like tries to think the world's against him? It's like, no, you're just an ass.
You sucked for 5 years.
It's not even that. He's just an asshole.
I still remember just watching him on draft day, just sitting there.
I didn't write back. It's like, dude, you punched your teammate in the mouth and broke his jaw.
He's up for a payday as well. Seattle's in a tough spot.
Yeah, he'll get it.
I mean, we saw Lamar get its franchise tag to the tune of $32 million today. So,
wait, he did?
Yes, he did. The franchise
so he's going back?
Yep, it's the exclusive variation of it. I'm not sure what differentiates it, but he is not able to explore a contract with other teams. So
that's some shiesty stuff.
In 2015, Geno Smith got into that locker room fight. Oh, he punched Geno Smith because he paid for Geno Smith to come out to like one of his camps to talk, and there was like a $600 plane ticket, and like Geno Smith just dipped and like didn't come. And then
I was like a random corner on the team. He's on the Jets. I remember this now.
Yeah,
punched him in the mouth and broke his jaw, and that guy got cut like immediately.
As he probably should, but like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Just go. I don't think Trent Williams is gonna retire. Because if he plays through 2026, he makes an additional $74 million.
Yeah, that contract's backloaded for sure.
Kind of like Aaron Donald. He's threatening to retire.
Yeah, this was his only year. This was his first year of really making some good money. The last 2 years, he's made 1.5, 1.8, and this year it's 19.4. Then it's 20, then 22.5, and then $32 million.
Yeah, that is a lot of reasons to continue playing. And I mean, the Niners are going to be back here next year. I truly believe that. Yeah. So I
would like it to be known, though, he has already made $150 million.
Well, there you go.
It just makes me think of like Aaron Donald. Like,
Right.
he still probably got like 3-4 more years in him, but like, I know it takes a toll on him. He's got the money, but there's more money coming.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I got $100 million. Like,
yeah,
right.
How could play? That's like, you remember Justin Foster saying he'd go sign his rookie deal, play a couple years, and then dip.
Yeah, look how that turned out.
We all picked the Eagles. Are any of you surprised at the score, quarterback injury aside? I mean, 38-7.
I did not pick the Eagles.
You picked the 49ers.
I did.
Well, you're telling on yourself. Yeah.
You
Even
could-
given your Niners prediction, are you surprised by the performance and how it ended score-wise?
Wait,
No.
Justin Foster's on the Orlando Guardians.
Really?
That is an XFL team.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, so I think the whole I don't like football thing was more or less an act.
But then again, you could also see that he also just did not want to be there half the time.
Orlando's not a bad place to play football.
No, it's not. The head coach is Terrell Buckley.
Household name. Actually, that does sound familiar. I don't know why.
I know it doesn't.
Maybe it was the tweets about the coaches. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because this revamp recently happened. They had the draft and everything.
Yeah.
More Tigers finding football homes down in Florida. Can't
Long
have
story
too
short.
much of that.
Who cares?
Well, that too. Moving to the nightcap, the Bengals fell to the Chiefs and the officials 23-20 in regulation.
Fact.
I feel bad for Osai, the rookie who
He's second here.
brushed the back of Patrick Mahomes, who then proceeded to reenact JFK's assassination.
He did reenact JFK's assassination. It was also a foul.
Right.
It was also a foul.
He did sell it.
But the rule sucks.
Yeah.
There needs to be like some sort of
There needs to be a rule.
stopgap to this.
Hey, when there's 20 seconds left and guys are trying to get every inch that counts, he may not see him step out of bounds.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing as the roughness penalties. You can't ask 250-pound men to run full speed and then stop. And then when the contact is a shove, you got to have some wiggle room there.
I just hope, that those refs, in a nice way, die. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't even realize I felt this strongly about Joe Burrow, but I do because he's a good-looking man. He is. Let's all call a spade a spade. He's a good-looking dude. And I wish the best for him.
I think he's going to be
Shout
just
out
fine.
to T, our boy T with the touchdown.
Yes.
More of a Joey B guy. How bad do you think it feels to be Joe Burrow's girlfriend?
Probably pretty bad. I'll give her
Yeah.
credit for like staying out of the public eye.
She could be
unlike
Brittany Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes' partner. Yeah, I was about to say.
She could be like, "Oh, you girls are lusting over my man, but look who's got him in bed," and like doing like some like dumb thing.
That would be the incorrect approach. So credit to her for not doing that.
It looks like she just posts like normal ass Instagram pictures and like, all right, cool.
Right, which just goes to show there's no need for the alternative, which is
There's no
a more
need
common
for
thing.
every wife that's married to a guy that makes $300 million to become an Instagram influencer.
No, there's not. But that's the trending path, unfortunately.
Correct. Shout out Chelsea Freeman.
My favorite people.
Sense some bitterness there.
Yeah, I just don't like her. I think she's kind of a whore.
Fake. Oh.
Same thing.
Chelsea,
if you're listening to this, come on the pod. Explain yourself.
A lot of people would like for you to explain yourself. Where were we?
Mahomes finally beats Burrow. I think the Brady Manning comparison has been overused to the point of just nausea, at least in my opinion. But do we think the closest comparison we currently have is Burrow Mahomes? Because we see Allen's name thrown in with these two, and then Allen can't win a playoff game when it matters. So I think that these two are, I guess, again, the closest thing to it.
Josh Allen.
I wasn't
Phillip
on
Rivers.
last week, but I need to get this out.
Go ahead.
Josh Allen is the biggest fraud in all of the NFL.
I asked Bailey the same question. Yeah.
He is the biggest fraud.
I only said he wasn't a fraud because he won me 2 fantasy football championships. So,
which again, fantasy football championship, because he has not yet made a real football championship.
You know, he got screwed by the NFL.
Yes.
Playoffs last year. I will admit that.
And then lost by 17 at home.
And yeah, he had a redemption arc. This was the year. This was the year that you had the best roster in the NFL. You had the quarterback. You traded for your running back. You had the receivers. You had your star defensive end. You had a good line.
Von Miller got hurt, but yes.
Yeah. He didn't come back for the playoffs?
No. So I had no pass rush.
Anyways, you're still Josh Allen, and you put
you can't control that. Yeah.
So.
And you can't blame the snow either because the Bengals put up, 23?
Well, I don't know
if the Bills to pick weather for a playoff game, they will pick snow every single time.
And I don't want to hear weather. Yeah, but both teams play in the same. The
Bengals didn't have an indoor facility until literally like 10 months ago.
I think they just have like a bubble too. It's not even nice.
It was very hastily done because they're the only team in the league without it, and they got roasted for it.
As they should.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Because I had to go to Cincinnati University.
Right, which is
USC, yeah. But yeah, Josh Allen, and then he goes on and he like tries to fight Christian Wilkins.
Stupid.
And Christian
first.
Christian is also one of those guys. He'll do just enough to piss someone off.
He'll piss you off.
Like I said that about Kayvon too, but Christian is like another level of that. I mean, because we saw it every day.
He's an instigator. That's just he's talented enough where his play warrants him talking like that. So I have no problem with it from that aspect. So I mean, has Burrow passed Allen for the second best quarterback in the AFC?
Yes.
In the NFL.
I think
who's
recency bias. We're dragging that in. I mean, you got to have Hurts in there somewhere.
I'm taking
Mahomes
in the top 5.
Close.
Right now,
brother, I could have played quarterback for the Eagles this year and made the playoffs.
Nah, it's not true. No, it's not. He's the winning MVP. So I think that's
not.
Yes, he is.
Mahomes is winning the MVP. Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree. That's fine. I think you should.
You just don't want to see him win another one in your division.
I've already watched him win like 2 Super Bowls. I'm pretty numb to that. I just think that it's similar to LeBron, and I guess we may see it with Jokic in the NBA, to where
top 5 quarterbacks go.
Ordered.
Yep. Jalen Hurts is 4th on the NFL MVP odds.
Well, that does take into account he did miss 2 games they lost.
Correct.
So that's actually fair.
Even if he would have played, he still would have lost.
It'd be closer.
If he was 15-1.
Yeah, right.
Or 15-1 because they lost to the Commanders.
Right, week 18.
Trevor is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th.
That seems
ideal.
Right.
Excessive.
Yeah.
All right. What was the question, Billy?
I said, since Grayson was like going to rank Hurts that high, what's his top 5 quarterbacks right now?
Yeah, what are your top 5 QBs?
I mean, Mahomes won.
Did no order.
Yeah. No order?
Yeah, no order.
I'd say Mahomes.
I can get loose.
Burrow's top 5. Allen.
Mahomes.
I still
Burrow,
put top
Allen.
5. I think Allen's still top 5. I think he's behind Burrow now, but I think he's top 5.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased. I'm going to put Herbert in there. I don't care if it's right or not. I don't care. I do not care. He played with a torn labrum and broken ribs. I do not care. 4,000 yards. Don't care.
I can see it.
Not care.
Well, so that's why I kind of wanted you to rank them.
You're right. Rank them.
That's going to take me a minute. That's so tough.
Mahomes, Burrow, Allen.
I can't put I can't put Herbert at 4 without a playoff win, but I'm tempted to.
Herbert at 5.
Who's it 4?
This season or like overall?
I mean, just
Lamar?
going into next season. Who's the top 5?
No, not Lamar.
Tua.
Tua, no. I mean, who would you add to that group other than Hurts? No. It's not his fault either. It's because they traded his best receiver to Las Vegas.
He still almost took him to the playoffs.
Right, almost, and lost to the Lions. I mean,
so like that's
if we're knocking Herbert for losses, we're gonna knock Aaron Rodgers for losses too.
Brother, he's the reigning 2-time MVP back to back.
that's fine. And then he missed the playoffs because again, they surround him with weak talent at receiver. At least they're young now, but I think that I struggled to put Rodgers in top. I think he's right there.
You think he's out of the top 5 coming off of back-to-back MVP wins?
Right, because this year was night and day compared to those two. Which, again, you lose the best receiver in the NFL. That's going to happen. But I'm just saying I have to take this into account just like the two MVPs.
So we have to take into account the 37
I'll put him in there over
yards, 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 picks.
And missed the playoffs. Yeah.
You care about the playoffs that much?
I think it matters.
When he had nobody. When your guy had Keenan Allen as the number 1, right? And Austin Eckler as a running back.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Rodgers had a rookie?
And now we're going to count the games that Mike and Keenan Allen missed.
I didn't count the one with Mike because he's not in the playoffs. I didn't say Mike. He still had Keenan Allen. He still had Austin Eckler. He still had Derwin James. He still had Nick Bosa.
The Packers defense has just as many playmakers. They're not as big names, but they have playmakers as well.
They don't have Derwin James. They don't have Nick Bosa.
The biggest name on the Packers defense is the kid that got thrown out for pushing a trainer, but
he's a rookie. And he's a rookie.
Right, but that's the last thing we saw from the Packers.
I mean, Jair Alexander's pretty good.
Right, we're just not going to ignore the All-Pro. Yeah.
But yeah, you're trying to tell me that Aaron Rodgers is not a top 5 quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers was on the Chargers this year, you guys win a playoff game.
Well, if he doesn't have broken ribs and a torn labrum, yeah. That also wouldn't hurt.
I mean,
he had the thumb too, which again, that matters as well. We got to mention that.
And he was immunized. I don't know if he got immunized again this year, so that might help too.
I don't care if he put motor oil in his arm. I just don't care about that anymore. I think we're past that.
I agree.
Yeah, so then put him in there and take Hurts out.
So Herbert had the same completion percentage as Rodgers, same touchdown to interception ratio basically, but just had more yards.
Right. Which that's not. I'm not saying there's a chasm between these two. I'm just saying, one, I'm biased. I'm putting Herbert top 5. I don't really care. I'll live with that.
So who's your 5th?
Sam Darnold.
If it's not Rodgers. If it's not Rodgers.
No, I say I'm at the point where I'd put Rodgers still above Hurts. I don't struggle with that.
You putting Hurts that high?
No, I'm saying out of the top 5, I would put
Hurts. We didn't know if Hurts was going to keep his job coming into this season.
Right, and then he ripped off like 12, 13 wins in a row.
He's throwing to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders. The best offensive line in the league. That tight end, that's pretty good.
Goddard.
Right.
I mean, this is the Tua argument.
Brock Purdy argument.
Well, Brock Purdy's different. He was coming off Mr. Relevant in the draft. That's a little early to expect that. But, I mean, where do you guys think Tua is then? Not top 5. We're
17th off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think league average. Just because one, he can't stay on the field, which is I don't think that's his fault necessarily.
2, I do.
All right, the next strengthening theory, I think I have some issues with. That's just not. That's not reality. I wish it was.
That's a proven thing. That's a proven thing. We do it in Clemson. They did it in Clemson. They have a whole neck machine.
Oh, it's a
preventative thing.
It is a proven thing. If your neck muscles are stronger, that you will have less concussions. Is
it significant to the point where if you fall flat on your back like he did?
It's significant enough that they, harp on it when they train.
Right, but I struggle to think if Clemson's doing it, then the Dolphins are not.
The Dolphins have had some shady stuff in the past, so.
Well, they tried to get Tom Brady when he was a Buccaneer. So.
All right, quickly, let's rank all the quarterbacks ahead of Tua.
Trevor. Dak.
Yeah, this is.
I'm writing it down. Mahomes. Burrow.
Allen.
I mean, I could pull up the standings, just rattle off all the teams, honestly.
Allen.
And this is,
Are we going in order or just naming names?
No,
better.
I mean, he's not top 5 in the AFC, I don't think. So, I mean, this
Trevor.
is incredibly easy.
He might not be top 5 in his division.
Kirk Cousins.
He's top 5. Mac Jones is in that division. Daniel Jones is better than him now. You asked.
Brother, you put a lot of stock in being recent. He might be. He might. Huh?
Oh, you're talking about him, not me saying Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, no, I'd probably put Cousins ahead of him. Yeah. I would still put Dak ahead of.
Oh yeah, I said Dak. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Here's Grayson's favorite. Where do you put Derek Carr ahead of him?
I would put Derek Carr ahead of Tua.
I mean, Derek Carr got benched for Jarrett Stidham.
By the way, I only have 6. I only have 6 ahead of Tua. Oh wait, hang on, Rodgers.
Did you have Trevor? Rodgers.
Have you started the NFC yet?
Rodgers. Stafford.
No, not Stafford.
He just won a Super Bowl.
Brother, he broke his neck.
Hall of Famer.
Hang on, I'm gonna put Brady in this.
Broke his neck at how old? That's my issue.
Deshaun?
No.
Pre sitting out 2 years.
5 years ago, yes, Deshaun Watson was back.
Kyler?
I don't know who to blame for the college.
Put Lamar
Lamar's better than him. Yeah.
Russell?
No.
He's had a terrible OC. That situation was terrible.
Yeah.
Gino?
Stop it. We're not putting Geno Smith ahead of anybody.
Yeah, Gino?
I'd put Geno ahead of Derek Carr. That's it.
How about who's worse than? You got Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills, Sam Darnold, Tannehill?
Tyler Huntley, the Pro Bowler, as of today.
Yeah, I'd probably put Huntley ahead of Tua. Nah, I wouldn't.
Jared Goff's ahead of Tua.
Jared Goff is ahead of Tua. Absolutely.
Yes.
I forgot about them. Justin Fields?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think.
We need to put this on a graphic and tweet it.
Hang on. Who's the backup QB for the Chiefs?
Chad Henne.
I might put him ahead of Tua too.
After that 98-yard drive, I think that's.
Yeah. Who else? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 11. So we got 2 at 12 right now.
2 at 12.
Wait, what's the Phillies guy name? Hurts? We don't have Hurts.
He's.
Who all do we have above him so far?
Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lawrence, Cousins, Dak, Rodgers, Brady, Lamar, Goff, Fields, Hurts.
Do we put Daniel Jones behind him?
They're probably all in like the same group, but like he's not definitive enough to me for like he's a bust.
It's the same thing as about us. He's had a good offensive mind for a year, and we've seen improvement. So I think that's fair to pump the brakes there.
Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, worse. Sam Darnold, worse.
Tannehill, worse. Pickett, worse. I have a list pulled up now.
Thank God.
Mariota, worse. Mac Jones, worse. Russell Wilson is way too low in this. That's ridiculous. Deshaun, worse. Heineke, worse. Matt Ryan, worse. Every other quarterback in Indianapolis, worse. Davis Mills, worse. Zach Wilson, he was the backup now, but also worse. And yeah, that's 32. So again, the middle.
Yeah.
Slightly above the middle.
There's a case, right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 12 ahead of him. So right now there's 13. You could reasonably say, I mean, you could convince me that Russ, Daniel Jones, and Deshaun are ahead of him. You could convince me of that.
It would take an argument, but yeah.
But also, if you get a solid, fully healthy season of Tua, he could very well. I mean, with the
I'm factoring. Yeah. I would factor in that. Like, I don't think that he's good.
It's going to get skewed because of the weapons that he has. Like,
Tyreek Hill helps anybody. I don't care who you are.
Him and Waddle.
Yeah.
Right. Waddle's just great drafting. That's different.
It's just throw it deep, catch it, score it, 60-yard touchdown.
Which, speaking of Russ, he could be like, what's his name? Better than Tua. What do we think of the coaching?
I think anytime you give up a first-round pick for a coach, it's a bad decision.
Also, what has Sean Payton proven to warrant that?
The Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yeah.
10 years ago?
It's the same reason Mike McCarthy has a job. I mean,
But
it's
it's a name
not
hire.
picks.
It's a name hire. Like, I'm glad the Panthers didn't hire him. Yeah, he would have been a good coach to have, but giving up draft picks for him, like, that's the stupidest
Does
thing
Denver
ever.
have a first-round pick the rest of this decade? I don't understand this.
How do they have a 23? What did they give up for Russ?
A lot.
But it wasn't a 23 first?
I guess not. It must have been a day 2 pick that year.
Well, didn't they just give they traded quarterbacks, right?
Well, yeah. Drew Lock
I mean,
and Fant.
Yeah, and Fant.
Position for position.
Yeah. But the Peyton deal, Denver's 23 first and next year's second-round pick, which is almost worse, for Sean Payton and the Saints 24 third. So they get a pick back, but
oh my God. They gave up. All right, so the Seahawks got Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, 22 first round, 22 second round, 22 fifth round, 23 first, 23 second. So
I thought it was more than that.
No, I mean, that sounds right. But how did Broncos get 2 23 firsts?
they gave the Seahawks 23 first, 23 second.
I know. So they gave the Seahawks a 23 first. They just gave the Saints a 23 first.
Right. That's
Who did they get the second one from? Oh, Chubb.
Yep.
Yeah. Miami.
Yeah.
Like you said, just trading draft picks for a coach just doesn't comprehend.
I mean, let me ask you all this. The last big name, big splash hire was Urban Meyer. And he
Frank
was
Reich.
the worst NFL head coach.
Yeah,
ever.
but what was? Yeah, I'm not counting that though. What was the last big name NFL hire?
John Gruden, also horrible.
To the Raiders?
Yes, horrible.
Was he?
Well,
I mean,
we
Andy
can
Reid
debate
to
the
the
reason he
Chiefs?
got fired, but that was 20 years ago, though. Not 20,
Andy Reid to
15
the
years ago.
Chiefs?
I'm just thinking
That's the
thinking
one
of
that's
names.
worse. Yeah, Andy Reid was in Philly forever. They had like an 8 year, something like that, and he got fired. But also, when you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, that kind of helps.
John Gruden
Was objectively a failure with the Raiders.
I don't know if he was objectively a failure.
They didn't win a playoff game. Are you kidding me?
Hang on.
They paid him $10 million a year
It's just money.
to win nothing.
What am I fucking looking at? Raiders.
Match Mike Tomlin's worst year.
Hang on. So the Raiders, John Gruden took over in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, they went 6-10.
Yes.
He took them over a 6-10 team and led them to 4-12.
Which is worse.
He then turned them into a 7-9 team.
Progress.
He then turned them into an 8-18.
That missed the playoffs.
And then he started out 2021 3-2.
Which is
And then
progress,
I don't know
but
if we
pathetic.
remember this or not, but that team did make the playoffs and beat a certain team in week 17 or 18 to go
18.
to the
And then did what? Without John Gruden.
But where'd they do it?
They do it
In the playoffs.
in the playoffs. They
In
lost
the
the playoffs. And not in
Versace
historic
was the coach
fashion.
for the playoffs.
Not in
Yoffs.
historic fashion.
John Gruden was not the coach of that team.
I think Grayson's gonna cut off his head.
Yeah,
Whenever, like this time next year, I'm imagining it now. This time next year, the Chargers.
Oh,
have
next
some
year the Jaguars and the
loss, and then 2 days later, Shohei Ohtani signs for the Dodgers for 10 years, $450 million.
I mean, the Angels are winning the World Series next year, so he's free to do what he wants after that. That's fine. Who needs pitching when you have a one deep lineup that can beat anyone?
Can it?
If no one gets hurt ever, yeah, which is definitely going to happen.
Oh God.
We have Brandon Drury now. We have depth. This is fine. Who cares if Tucker Davidson pitches on Saturday?
Can you guys not, Bailey? Can you not see it though? January.
No, I'd see it happening.
It's January 17th.
They just lost to the Jaguars again in the first round.
They just got smoked by the Chiefs, 40-17.
Thunder on a 10-game losing streak.
Yeah.
The Thunder might not lose 10 games at all next year.
The Thunder still have 17 first-round picks that they've done nothing with.
Nothing with. What are you talking about? We've got the third best player in the draft at 12 this year. I realize you watch NBA on Twitter, but let's not get into libel territory.
I mean, if you have 90 first-round picks, do you not have LeBron James by now?
Well, one, he's 38 years old, and two, this is year 2.5 of the rebuild. So, Sam Hinkie did this for 12 years in a row. I don't want to hear it. He drafted Jahlil Okafor and paid him $16 million to play in China.
How does it feel that the Kings already are in second place in the West? In the so-called rebuild.
It's January 31st. I'm fine with the Kings as the 2 seed.
But yeah, like you said, January 17th, Ohtani signs with the Yankees, plays with his best MVP candidate.
Well, yeah, the Yankees are finally have an MVP. That's good for them. They haven't won a World Series since 2009. They spent probably $13 billion trying to, so that's fine. I don't care.
This segment is brought to you by BetterHelp.
You already helped me for shit. Just keep this up. That's fine. What team? The Hurricanes have lost to the Bruins in the playoffs again. Just keep it going.
You don't watch soccer. Oh, never mind.
No, I have my limits.
That was funny.
Yeah. We're all right. So yeah, that covers football basically. We'll preview the Super Bowl next week since we got 2 weeks till it. But some more football talk, but more close to us. Clemson's football schedule got released last night, and it's interesting to say the least.
I didn't even look at it. We're still losing to Boston College. Shoot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brownell.
First game is Labor Day night at Duke on a Monday. Are we just a Labor Day team? Like, is that going to be?
I can't believe we're playing a true road game on a Monday night.
We're playing it's a true road game on a Monday?
It's at Wallace Wade Stadium.
I mean, in theory, right? Like the ACC kind of wants to present their number one.
They did it our senior year when we played Georgia Tech on the first game that Thursday night.
The ACC network.
Yeah.
At least that's in Atlanta.
No, this was at Clemson. Same thing. But last year we obviously did in Atlanta. But at Duke is weird. We play all the North Carolina teams. Couldn't tell you the last time that happened.
PJ Hall's getting murdered.
Yeah.
We play NC State, North Carolina, and Duke.
And Wake.
Yes.
Oh, and Wake. Yeah, I like the no divisions.
Yeah.
Do we still play Georgia Tech and Georgia Tech every year?
Georgia Tech, Florida State, NC State.
Those are 3: Georgia Tech, Florida State, NC State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think they got it right. Like.
That's a good. Yeah, I like that.
That sucks for us in Florida State, though. If Florida State comes back.
Oh, speaking of which, that game is a fourth week of the season. So
yeah, they're positioning it that way. Whoever loses can still win the last one and still get in.
Yeah,
which I like now.
Yeah.
I like.
Because Cade may be a different QB game 13 rather than game 4.
I mean, we saw how different Florida State of a team they were from when we beat them to how they ended up.
Yeah, they ended up like garbage. They barely beat Oklahoma.
Before the bowl game.
That's a bowl game, though. That's prior to the bowl game. The regular season ended on a high note.
I don't even know. They beat a bad Florida team.
They murdered a bad Florida team.
So did Oregon State.
Again, bowl game. No one cared. That's
Florida did because they had to score to not.
Well, they kicked the field goal down 30. Yeah, that's fine. The kicker cared. That's great. He'll be a Cowboy. That's awesome.
Let's go through the schedule and give our immediate record.
The toughest game in the first month is the spring game. So.
Sam Hartman at Notre Dame is going to be interesting.
Yes.
I am so glad it's at home.
Okay. So, first game at Duke.
I mean, that's a win. We're not losing to Duke.
Charleston Southern.
I don't care who plays quarterback.
Florida Atlantic. W.
Florida
State at home.
W.
Syracuse on the road.
We murdered Florida State with DJ and Brandon Streeter at Florida State last year. Now we have Cade and Riley Sign me
cannot
up,
wait to be a 2-point underdog in that game. It's going to be
Guys,
incredible. Clip this now.
I don't think that we really understand that he made Max Duggan a Heisman finalist.
Dog.
Right.
If he can do that with Max, he can do that with our 5-star all-world.
Yeah.
I want everyone to pick Notre Dame to win the ACC, which is not possible. Shout out to Mark Richt. And then I think that I believe so. Somebody did.
Threw me off for a second. I was about to go off on you.
I want the entire world picking Florida State to win the ACC. I want them all betting on them in Clemson. I would much rather Dabo have like 70 bulletin boards around the locker room than to be favored by a touchdown again and think, okay, it's Florida State.
Right.
But, 2014 never happened. This is fine. I would much rather be the team that's perceived as the underdog, whether it's accurate or not, than to be a touchdown favorite and we can just walk through them, which is, I don't think, true anymore, given what they've added in the portal. But, that's not the end all be all. But I think if we play twice, I would much rather win the second one. I'll say that because,
right. If you lose the first one, it doesn't matter at all. None.
Right.
So.
If you lose in September and you win in December, then
right.
Especially if it's in Charlotte. So
it is kind of nice though now that like in theory you can lose the Florida State game and like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like playing Alabama every year, right? It's like,
now when you do that though, you do remove the
have
opportunity
to win out. Yeah.
Right.
We always lose one though,
Unless we go 15-0 like the first time ever. But
let me rephrase. Right. Let me rephrase this. It's not good that you can just lose to Florida State. It's good that you can just lose. And so you can lose and you don't have to worry about, well, now does Wake Forest have to lose twice?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
because if we played Florida State in like late October, then that's a problem. You can't.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of nice. So, let's watch this final 45 seconds. That guy. Why the hell did Chase Hunter just take a heat check 3 with 45 seconds to go?
I mean, balls just explode in Clemson. So
that's ball game.
That is ball game, correct.
So 5-0.
Florida State.
So 5-0 at Syracuse. Win.
If we beat Florida State, we're not losing to Syracuse or Wake Forest without heart.
Wake Forest. So. Miami at Miami. So Clemson home game.
2,500 people will watch this one by 30. That's great.
At NC State.
I hate that.
That is.
Who's their quarterback?
Exactly. It's Ben, whatever his name is. Bentley.
McAdoo.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
He missed the front end of an and one. Of a 1-on-1.
We're still down like what, 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chase Hunter. Chase Hunter got ripped. Chase Hunter got ripped.
They pickpocketed him?
Yep.
Nice.
He's trying to play hero ball.
Well, or Sunday.
All right, we're not making the tournament.
Saturday. We're going to be 198th in net, which we'll get to at the end of the show. But,
yeah. We can wrap the show up.
Notre Dame at home.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm comforted by the confines of Death Valley. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because Sam Hartman tore our ass apart for 4 hours the last time we played.
Yeah, that's just that weird offense. Like Notre Dame doesn't have any wide receivers. They'll be able to run the ball.
And Mayer's gone, thank God.
And our corners at the end of the year were good.
Yeah, there was improvement. Yeah, I think that's fair.
As long as
because Gordon and Grayson bowl games don't matter.
Well, when you have 12 opt-outs and 6 guys that think they're getting drafted and not play, that's different.
I forgot we lost Tennessee. Shit.
Georgia Tech at home.
Win.
NC State at home. Or UNC at home.
It's
going to be a close game.
Yeah. We can beat the shit out of them.
I realize that, but I mean, is at South Carolina an opportunity to look ahead now? I realize as long as Gene Chizik is employed there, we're not going to lose, but I'm just saying that is at South Carolina now an opportunity to look ahead past somebody?
I don't think you guys truly understand how awesome Riley's offense is.
Right, but the last time we lost to South Carolina, we got a coordinator fired. So I think that it can't be lost on the fact that.
Oh, is that real? That is what happened?
I don't know. Like if that was domino to domino, but I'm just saying we lost to South Carolina for the first time in 7 years, and we fired an offensive coordinator. So,
Max Duggan last year.
Lose South Carolina.
Max Duggan last year completed 40 less passes than this. Oh wait, I'm looking at that in reverse order.
It's also Big 12 we're talking about, to be fair.
Max Duggan this year 267 completions. Last year 145 completions. This year 3,700 yards. Last year 2,000 yards. This year 32 touchdowns. Last year 16. This year 8 picks. Last year 6 picks. But that's 2 more picks and over 200 more attempts.
Right. If we get anywhere close to those numbers from Cade, then we're going to be.
I get 3,700 yards, 32 touchdowns from Cade. We are in the national championship.
We're talking New York as well.
Yeah. We're talking New York, yeah.
I think. Just give me the same season, and yeah.
Playing Drake May with Cade Klubnik could be a Heisman eliminator potentially.
Yes.
Playing what's his face? Jordan Travis. He's got a lot of Heisman talk too.
Jordan Travis sucks.
He should.
Jordan Travis sucks.
If they beat us in September, he will be like the third.
Well, I understand that, but Jordan Travis is not good. I will stake my reputation on it that he is worse
at all
next year than he was this year.
Well, that's a different story. That I could conceive. Him not being good at football is absurd. But
I will stake my reputation that his rating next year will be worse than 160.1.
I don't know who they play, but I'm just telling you.
6th year in college.
I mean, Stetson Bennett just won a title at 28 years old. So
and got arrested.
Dog.
Stetson trying to be in his 20s again. At South Carolina, we're not going to say loss, so there's really no point in doing that. But
never lose.
Yeah.
Sure. Did Spencer Rattler decide to stay in school or go to the CFL? I mean, NFL.
He's XFL, AA of USFL. I think he's back. I mean,
That's great. Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Travis 13 for 30 versus Florida, 270 yards. And whoa. Where'd he go, Jordan?
Yeah. So undefeated seasons is what it's looking like. We're back in the playoffs.
Win total predictions.
11.5.
I'd say 10.5.
10.5.
Oh, I'm taking 12, and I'm riding that bitch all day long.
It's not going to be 12, though. I mean,
you want to bet? Oh, how much you think Vegas is going to set?
Yeah. Yes. What the line
will be 10.5.
Oh, 10.5.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. And I'll take the over, and I'll mortgage
the over.
I would like to openly dare anyone to put this at 9.5 because I will find out where to drive so I can legally do that and bet on that because that's ridiculous. But I think I think 10.5 is right in that sweet spot where, you drop a Florida State game or a Notre Dame game, one of those two, which, again, are both at home. I think it's huge. Our third toughest game might be North Carolina or NC State, one of those two. I don't know. But I think having the clear 2 toughest games at home is very, very important. So shout out to us for swinging that.
Shout out to the Dets, to the Dets. That's Baby Keem.
I've totally listened to him.
Do we want to get into if we had to pick one game that we lose, what do we think it would be?
Florida State.
Yeah, I mean, no.
I think Notre Dame.
I think Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We're not losing South Carolina again.
No.
And if we do,
we're not.
I'm going to put this into the universe right now.
Dabo's head.
Yeah.
Stop.
Because Shane Beamer owns him if he does. I mean.
Does he?
What?
Yeah. If Shane Beamer wins again this year, technically he owns him. He owns a winning record.
Yeah, he has a winning record. 2-1.
I mean, the first point South Carolina scores at home in this rivalry with Shane Beamer at coach this year will be the first points they score.
Oh, I'm going to Columbia, too. I said the last time we played in Columbia, I'm never going back. I'm going back, and I'm going to talk so much shit.
Has the price of Kevlar increased with inflation, or is that still something ballpark we can afford? Because
that is going to be a rowdy game.
Given
it might be one of the worst ever.
The general disposition of the people that show up there in pajama pants and
how bad it was the last time we were there.
Yes, correct.
Right, and they had no chance to win that game.
Yes.
So I think this is Shout out to all the trainers who will have to hold riot shields above players' heads going to the locker room. So that's going to be entertaining.
I'm going.
But,
I'll be there. I'll go with you.
Why not put a Walmart parking lot in aluminum seats for a couple hours? Well, a quarter until they leave. But, yeah. Do we want to bitch about the net or talk about D'Amico Ryans?
I don't want to bitch about the net anymore.
Why?
Yeah. Because
we're going to get beat by 10 and 12 Boston College, so maybe
But
it's
I
right.
can cut the part where we acknowledge we're watching it, and then it sounds like.
I'd
I don't even have I don't have the fire anymore because
we're bitch about Brownell and we lost to Boston College.
No, because we're 18-5, 10-2 in the ACC.
Yeah, but we're going to be 39th in the AP poll and 212th in the net.
Who cares?
Rankings don't matter in basketball.
Yeah, Clemson basketball.
No. They use the net to put teams in the tournament.
They do, but we're making we've
it.
already made the tournament.
Yes, no, I agree. Unless we dead ass lose out, which we're not going to.
Yeah. If we lose out, they get bounced in the ACC.
Or I will go to Brownell's house and ask him why. But I think that, that's it. I mean.
So what else
We're about to lose me. Yeah, we're about to lose me.
About to. Last thing college football wise, zooming out to the ACC, do we expect Clemson is the favorite in the ACC going into next season? Where we sit now? With the hype train in Tallahassee building up, with the
hype is already
media to pick random people.
The hype is already Clemson versus Florida State. Like everybody's saying that's going to be
a consensus, I think. Yeah, especially with the divisionless format, which I think is honestly an improvement. So I welcome it.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
SEC hasn't done it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you got Georgia and Alabama already.
They don't
I realized
this
year didn't work out.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Right.
Well, actually, this year it worked out.
They'll do it.
I know, but the SEC knows that there's a realistic chance that Alabama and Georgia both go 12-0 each year, and they both get in the playoffs.
Well, in 2 years though, they're getting 3 teams in every year. So.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, when it's 12 teams, it's anarchy.
Anarchy!
We got this week. All right. We will be back with a Super Bowl preview next week. And maybe Jacob and Beezy. We'll see.
No, I'm in next week. I don't got nothing to do next week.
Perfect. Yes, we'll get Super Bowl picks. I think both conference championship games correctly. I may have been the only one doing that, but
I picked both of them wrong.
I had Eagles Chiefs. I bet on them.
I thought you said oh, that's right. Never mind. All right. That's all we got. Twitter at the 1009, Spotify, iTunes, Apple, YouTube, the 1009, all that good stuff. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Deuces.
Subscribe.